The Shadow Race, Iran's Path to the Bomb. In the sun-scorched deserts of Iran, a high-stakes geopolitical drama has played out over the last half-century. It is the story of atoms, ambition, secrecy, and survival, a tale of Iran's determined, controversial, and heavily scrutinized quest to master nuclear technology. Was it for energy security, national pride, or military might? The answer remains hotly debated, even as the centrifuges continue to spin. Chapter 1. Seeds of Power, 1957-1979. Iran's nuclear journey began innocuously enough in 1957, under the U.S.-backed Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Eager to modernize his kingdom, the Shah inked a deal with President Eisenhower's Atoms for Peace program, gaining access to a 5-megawatt research reactor at Tehran University. Iran signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, in 1968, committing not to seek nuclear weapons in exchange for peaceful nuclear cooperation. The Shah envisioned a network of 20 reactors and even spoke of enriching uranium domestically. By the mid-1970s, Iran invested over $1 billion in nuclear infrastructure and poured funds into Germany's Siemens and France's Eurodif, hoping to secure enriched uranium. But the 1979 Islamic Revolution swept the monarchy away. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini suspended nuclear projects, branding them Western poison. It seemed Iran's atomic ambitions had been buried under revolutionary zeal. Chapter 2. From Dormancy to Resurrection, 1980-2002. The Iran-Iraq War, 1980-1988, devastated Iran and reshaped its security priorities. Iraq's chemical weapons attacks, tolerated by a silent world, underscored Tehran's need for deterrence. Iran slowly restarted its nuclear program, quietly and methodically. In the 1990s, Iran revived work at the Bushehr reactor with Russian assistance and began constructing uranium enrichment facilities in secret. Intelligence agencies took note, but evidence remained circumstantial. Iran maintained that it only pursued peaceful energy. Then, in 2002, an exiled opposition group, the National Council of Resistance of Iran, dropped a bombshell. They released satellite images showing undeclared nuclear facilities in Natanz and Arak. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, demanded inspections. What they found shocked the world. Thousands of centrifuges installed, traces of highly enriched uranium, and a covert program camouflaged in bureaucracy. Chapter 3. Pressure, Defiance, and the Great Freeze, 2003-2006. Iran's exposure led to a diplomatic whirlwind. European powers, UK, France, Germany, known as the E3, opened negotiations. Iran agreed to temporarily suspend enrichment under the 2003 Tehran Declaration. But internal politics were changing. Hardliners in Iran, led by Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, believed the West's goal was to deny Iran its rightful technological progress. In 2005, Ahmadinejad won the presidency, and Iran resumed enrichment. Sanctions followed. The UN Security Council passed Resolution 1696 demanding Iran suspend enrichment. Iran refused. In defiance, they unveiled more advanced centrifuges, insisting they were only for peaceful energy. The phrase nuclear weaponization entered diplomatic language. Israel, already a covert nuclear power, sounded alarm bells. The U.S. debated airstrikes. Diplomacy teetered. Chapter 4. Espionage, Sabotage, and the Stuxnet Mystery, 2007-2012. With direct confrontation risky, a covert war began. Iranian scientists were assassinated in car bombings. The Mossad was suspected but never confirmed. Then came Stuxnet. In 2010, cybersecurity experts discovered a digital worm targeting Iran's centrifuges. It disabled nearly 1,000 at Natanz. The virus, allegedly a U.S.-Israeli creation, marked the first known cyber weapon. Iran retaliated with cyber attacks of its own. The nuclear program slowed, but didn't stop. In 2012, IAEA reported Iran had amassed over 200 kilograms of 20% enriched uranium, dangerously close to weapons grade. Chapter 5. The Deal of the Decade, 2013 to 2015. The election of Hassan Rouhani, a moderate cleric, revived diplomacy. Back-channel talks in Oman led to direct U.S.-Iran negotiations. In 2015, after 2 years of intense negotiations, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, was signed. Key terms included Iran would reduce its uranium stockpile by 98%. Only 5,060 centrifuges could operate. Fordow, a deep underground facility, would become a research site. IAEA would gain unprecedented access. In exchange, Iran received relief from crippling sanctions. Billions in frozen assets were released. President Obama hailed it as a diplomatic triumph. Israeli PM Netanyahu called it a historic mistake. American conservatives promised to dismantle it. Chapter 6. Collapse and Consequences, 2016-2020. In 2018, President Donald Trump withdrew from the JCPOA, calling it the worst deal ever. Sanctions snapped back. Iran's economy cratered. Inflation soared. European powers struggled to salvage the deal through the Instex mechanism, but it proved ineffective. Iran responded in phases. It exceeded the enriched uranium cap, increased enrichment levels to 20%, then 60%, installed advanced centrifuges, restricted IAEA inspections. In 2020, Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, Iran's top nuclear scientist, was assassinated in an ambush outside Tehran. Iran blamed Israel. The incident further hardened Iranian resolve. Chapter 7. The Shadow of War, 2021-2024. By 2021, the Biden administration attempted to revive the JCPOA. Talks dragged on in Vienna. Iran demanded guarantees that future administrations wouldn't abandon the deal again. Meanwhile, Israel launched covert operations, including sabotage at Natanz. Iran rebuilt quickly. IAEA inspectors complained of limited access. Tensions simmered. In 2022, Iran announced it had stockpiled enough 60% enriched uranium to build several bombs if it chose to enrich to weapons grade. The breakout time had shrunk from 1 year to a few weeks. In 2023, the IAEA reported traces of uranium enriched to 83.7%, just shy of 90%, the weapons threshold. Iran claimed it was a technical glitch. Skeptics rolled their eyes. Chapter 8, 2025. The Brink, Enhanced. By early 2025, the world stood on edge. Iran had installed hundreds of advanced IR-6 centrifuges, operating deep within hardened underground bunkers. Its uranium stockpile had surpassed 100 kilograms at 60% enrichment. The diplomatic track had collapsed into silence, and back-channel communications between Tehran and Washington had frozen. On June 17, 2025, Rafael Grossi, the IAEA Director General, made a stark announcement before a tense Vienna press corps. We can no longer confirm the exclusively peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program. We have lost the visibility we require. The remark triggered panic in capitals across the globe. Israel, which had long warned that it would not allow Iran to reach nuclear breakout capability, appeared to shift from warning to action. On the morning of June 24th, multiple deep rumblings were felt across central Iran. Explosions ripped through Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan, three critical components of Iran's nuclear architecture. Iranian social media was ablaze with videos of shockwaves, sirens, and black smoke spiraling into the sky. Initial reports were chaotic and confused. Iranian state media claimed industrial accidents. But within hours, international satellite imagery confirmed otherwise. This was a strike coordinated, surgical, devastating. Operation Red Sand, Anatomy of the Strike. Codenamed Operation Red Sand, the Israeli operation was the most audacious military effort against Iran's nuclear program to date. It marked a turning point in the shadow war between the two nations. According to leaks from Western intelligence sources, dozens of drones, including long-range Harop loitering munitions and stealthy Hermes 900s, spearheaded the assault. F-35I Adir stealth fighters penetrated Iranian airspace undetected, reportedly using routes over Jordan and Iraq. Bunker-busting munitions, including U.S.-supplied GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, were used to destroy underground centrifuge halls at Natanz. At Fordow, Israel deployed a cyber-electronic warfare package that disabled Iranian air defenses moments before strike teams hit the facility with precision-guided bombs. Isfahan, home to heavy water production and missile R&D sites, was targeted in the second wave, destroying administrative buildings and possibly key figures in the Iranian Atomic Energy Organization. Western satellite images the next day showed smoldering craters, collapsed tunnels, and mangled aluminum wreckage, some of it Iranian, some Israeli. Iran admitted that sabotage and hostile aerial attacks had occurred but downplayed the scale. Independent assessments suggested that at least 40% of Iran's nuclear infrastructure had been rendered inoperable or set back substantially. Tehran's response. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei took to national television, calling the strikes an act of war against the soul of Iranian sovereignty. He vowed a multi-dimensional response and warned the West not to miscalculate Iran's resolve. Within 48 hours, Hezbollah launched over 250 rockets into northern Israel, triggering Israel's Iron Dome and setting off clashes across the Lebanese border. Iranian proxies in Iraq launched missile barrages at U.S. forces near Erbil and Al-Assad Air Base. Though largely intercepted, 2 U.S. contractors were wounded. A massive cyber attack hit Israeli water systems and civilian banking infrastructure. Tel Aviv responded with retaliatory cyber strikes on Iranian telecom infrastructure and IRGC logistics networks. Iran mobilized portions of the IRGC aerospace division and placed missile units on high alert. Regional panic followed. Oil prices surged to $140 per barrel. Maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz slowed dramatically. China and Russia called for de-escalation, while the U.S. Navy surged assets into the Persian Gulf. U.S. officials, while denying direct involvement, confirmed they had been briefed but not complicit in the strikes. President William Carter called for calm, stating, "The United States is committed to preventing a nuclear Iran through diplomacy. We will defend our allies, but we urge all parties to step back from the abyss." Aftermath. Crippled or cornered. Operation Red Sand was widely seen as a strategic masterstroke by Israel, but one fraught with future peril. Western intelligence suggested the strikes had set back Iran's weapons-grade enrichment capacity by 18 to 30 months, a significant delay. However, it was not a knockout blow. Iran's leadership quickly pivoted underground, literally. Reports indicated they accelerated work on 2 new hardened facilities deep beneath the Zagros Mountains, potentially immune to conventional strikes. In a speech to the Iranian parliament, nuclear chief Mohammad Eslami declared, "We will rebuild. We will go further. The Islamic Republic will not be broken by bombs, only strengthened by them." Meanwhile, the strikes reshaped the geopolitical landscape. Saudi Arabia quietly applauded the strikes, though publicly it urged stability in the region. Turkey and Qatar called for urgent mediation. Russia and China sent delegations to Tehran, offering technological and diplomatic lifelines. Israeli Defense Minister Yossi Cohen warned that if Iran rebuilds, Israel will return. The IAEA, now banned from Iranian sites, expressed grave concern. Analysts coined a new term, nuclear opacity escalation. The idea that Iran, having lost the benefits of restraint, might now embrace a North Korea-style deterrent model. The uncertain future. As of mid-2025, Iran's nuclear status remains ambiguous. Technically, it hasn't tested a bomb. Politically, it has crossed red lines. Strategically, it holds a powerful bargaining chip. Does Iran want the bomb, or just the threshold capability? The answer may not lie in Tehran's labs, but in the minds of its leaders and their adversaries. What is certain is that Iran's nuclear saga is far from over.